You may be wondering what the term dark night of the soul even refers to. Or maybe you chose this video because you know exactly what it is, but you are wondering how the hell you move through this really challenging time. So I hope these insights really support you in doing just that. First of all, I should probably mention that I don't actually think that the term dark night of the soul is actually all that accurate. I really believe that this is more of a dark night of the mind. You see, the way the mind works, it creates belief systems and constructs that make up our reality, and we live within these constructs. So we have a very clear idea of how we believe the world works, of how we believe we fit into this world, how we perceive ourselves, and everything around us. We have these belief systems. And when we go through a dark night of the soul, these belief systems start to crumble. Everything that we believe ourselves to be starts to fall apart. And that in itself is an incredibly scary process because we don't know what to hold on to anymore. And that's why it's such a challenging period of time. But I really want to enforce that it is really challenging more for the mind than the soul, because for most of us, our soul is really committed to our growth and our expansion and learning and experiencing all of life. So your soul is more than willing to move through this, but your mind is going to offer up some resistance because it feels very unsafe to let go of what you believe to be true or to change what you believe to be true, because there's that in-between stage that you don't really know where you're going. You know that you're not exactly the person that you were, but you don't know who you're becoming. You don't really know what that looks like on the other side. And that for the mind, that kind of change and evolution is actually quite difficult. It's challenging. It's very lonely. And this period of time can be characterized by a deep sense of depression and even physical exhaustion. These are all symptoms of a dark night of the soul. That said, if you're experiencing deep depression or physical exhaustion, I'm not saying that you can just blame it on a dark night of the soul and not go and seek support, go and see your practitioners, your whatever kind of medical or holistic practitioners you are used to being supported by. This is very much a time to seek all of the support that you possibly can. One thing that I really find really important during this time is to rest as much as possible, because energetically what's happening is your whole system, your whole environment, everything that you are, your cells, everything are realigning, they're recalibrating, they're becoming a new version of you, and that is exhausting. So please give yourself some grace through that and allow yourself to rest as much as you can. I know that life is going to continue happening, that, you know, the world's not just going to stop for you, and there is still maybe a job to get done and kids to get to school and a dog to be walked and meals to prepare. I understand that all of that will need to happen anyway, but those moments in between, allow yourself as much rest time as possible, because it really does matter. It will really ease the process. We don't need to rush through this. We cannot rush through it. I want you to imagine, you know, this beautiful metaphor in nature where you have the transformation. The concept of transformation is often symbolized by a butterfly. And that's because a caterpillar, in order to become a butterfly, has to climb into a cocoon. Or is it a chrysalis? It's one or the other. My kids taught me this once. They said a moth is a chrysalis and a butterfly is a cocoon, or maybe it's the other way around. But for the purpose of this video, it doesn't really matter. Just imagine caterpillar climbing into that cocoon is going to come out as a butterfly. That is inevitable. But the thing is that caterpillar cannot force the process, cannot go faster than it is meant to happen. And what actually happens to that caterpillar is it absolutely completely disintegrates. It becomes mush. What the caterpillar once was completely falls away. And once it's become that mush, it starts to reform into a butterfly. So ultimately, yes, I know you're much smarter than a caterpillar and you may totally overthink this process. There's no need to judge yourself for that. It is a very challenging time to go through. You are really being called to embody surrender, and I say this all the time. I think surrender is possibly one of the most challenging states to really soften into. And once we think we are surrendered, we realize that there is more surrender that can take place. So I guess my top tip would be to, as much as possible, allow everything to fall away. Allow everything that you believed yourself to be to drop away, because truly the essence of who you are is way beyond all of those labels, all those experiences, all of those adjectives that you use to qualify yourself. You are so much more than that, and you are so much deeper than that, and you are so much more powerful than you could have possibly given yourself credit for by calling yourself by whatever terms you may have used to describe yourself. And these periods of transformation can be exactly those moments that push us to our limits, that push us to getting to that stage where we're willing to let everything go and to allow ourselves to be something completely different. Through this time, it can be incredibly lonely, because what can often happen when we transform is that we are different. The people around us don't fully recognize us. We don't really recognize ourselves. And that loneliness can be very... I don't even know a word that could be more than challenging. It's possibly one of the hardest things for us to experience as humans, because we are, by nature, we are meant to be together. We are a tribal species and we need one another. So as we transform into more of who we are, we need to kind of release who we were within our group of friends, who we were within our family. And we need to choose our own authenticity above other people's comfort. And that is not easy to do. It's easy for me to say it, but I know how difficult that can be. So I really want to honor how challenging that is and how much support you may need through this. But you need to be your own support system. You need to choose to honor yourself, to allow everything that you're not to fall away, to take care of your body, to take care of your mind, and to really take the best care that you possibly can of your energy system, and allow all of that to recalibrate, and honor that your physical body is moving through a lot, and that through nourishing foods, lots of water, lots of rest, you can support yourself. Also emotionally support yourself by trying to maybe reach out to, this may not be your oldest friends or the people that you had maybe connected with over the last few years, but maybe you're moving into a whole different way of being and you're being called to broaden your circle that you are around. I started a membership for this exact reason. It's called Inner Circle, and it's finding that connection within yourself, but also being supported with all the resources that you need to figure out what that means to you, because ultimately nobody else can teach you who you are, but it's your job to remember who you were before the world got in the way. So please know that if you're experiencing a dark night of the soul, it's inevitable, I believe. If you are someone who is committed to living your best life and being the best version of you and committed to the growth of your own soul, you will go through not just one, you may go through several ones. But the very first one is possibly the most challenging and the most terrifying, because it's never happened before and you may feel like you're having a nervous breakdown. So please reach out for support and create your own support systems based on the kind of person that you want to be. If you want to be someone who eats healthy food and has a supportive career, look at all the areas of your life where you're not living into that truth. Where do you need changes to happen in your life? Because one thing that I've seen happen sometimes is people have this opportunity through this dark night of the soul to have their own inner transformation. But then one of the first things they do when they feel better is they return to old habits, to old lives, to old jobs. They're not fully allowing themselves to become that new version. So this can take time, and there's absolutely no rush. But please know that even though this is a very challenging time, it is an incredible opportunity for you to become more of who you truly are. So rest, connect, support yourself, seek out support, and as much as possible, surrender to the process. Allow yourself to transform, allow yourself to change, and know that you will get through this. It is just a phase. You will move through it, and what is on the other side is nothing short of magnificent. Sending you all my love. I will talk to you soon. If we're meeting for the first time, hi, I'm Shah Higginson, and I love nothing more than helping you get out of your own way so that you can integrate the amazingness that you are and get to know your true self and be completely unapologetically you on your own terms in whatever way feels good to you. So if you like this content, I'd love you to subscribe to the channel so you can always catch up on the resources I have coming your way, or check out the links below and see how I may support your journey. Thanks for watching.